So let's go to our next story. You know, 5 decades ago, specifically on February 13, 1976, a failed military push to take over the government resulted in the violent killing of then head of state General Murtala Ramat Mohammed. His aide-de-camp, ADC, Lieutenant Akintunde Akinsehinwa, was not so lucky. He got killed along with his boss. In Lagos, family members and friends, in conjunction with the Anglican community, elected to honor the memory of the Ondo State-born ADC, you know, we have just talked about. May God continue to rest his soul. Let's share the story of the Remembrance service by our own Ivy Kanu. Ivy, we turn things over to you now. Let's go.
Coincidentally, the Remembrance service falls on the same date the tragic incident occurred 50 years ago, February 13th, 1976. Lieutenant Akintunde Akinsehinwa was serving as aide-de-camp to the then head of state, Murtala Mohammed, when gunmen opened fire on the leader's convoy in Lagos. Both men were assassinated in the attack. At St. Saviour's Church of the Anglican Communion, worshippers gathered with the late widow's wife to mark the Golden Remembrance. Delivering the sermon, Reverend Canon Douglas West called on Christians to embrace a life of sacrifice. Preaching from Mark chapter 8, he reminded the congregation that true Christian living comes with trials and tribulations. According to him, many desire the glory but are unwilling to endure the struggles that often come before it.
Are we ready to make the sacrifice? Following Jesus is not about bread and butter. Following Jesus is about hardship, it's about struggle. It requires sacrifice. Denial requires sacrifice. Inconveniences.
He also reflected on the lasting impact of loss on families left behind, noting that the casualty of war extend beyond those who die.
There are some others that might have also lost their limbs, their arms, their eyes, their livelihood. So there is usually collateral damage in war. And that also happened on February 13, 1976. Therefore, Mama, today we are saluting you for your courage, the staying power, the perseverance that God has granted unto you all these years.
He spoke on the reality of life for some families after the death of their loved ones.
You can imagine the number of friends, because the man was so close to the president and they know the likely gains that they can benefit from that friendship. And after his demise, those that are promising that, don't worry, whatever that you need, we're going to provide. And you will never see them again. They disappear. And you can imagine how young you were then, because the man is no longer there. So beautiful a lady. Before I help you, I will do this.
The service continued with special prayers for the family and thanksgiving for a life remembered. For the widow, it has been 5 years of resilience.
As a young girl, I knew Jesus early, so when it happened as a dream. So thinking about it, now today 50 years and I'm alive. Glory be to God. So that's why we decided that we just have to do Thanksgiving, because probably there will be no other 50 years for me to witness again. So, but I'm God grateful to God that all things being good, everything's okay. We are happy. My son is okay. He's a man now, not a child.
It has not been easy. It has been extremely challenging for her. Times of joy, times of sorrow, times of regrets, times of reflections and processes. But in all these challenges, God has been her rock.
Married young and widowed early, she shared words of encouragement for younger widows.
What I did was that I faced my career. I didn't remember any other thing. I was facing to progress in my job. and I got to where I wanted to be. Everybody should have something to do. Economically, they should have something to do. Nobody should depend on man, husband. Jesus is our husband.
Historical accounts say on the morning of February 13th, 1976, when gunmen attacked the head of state's vehicle, Lieutenant Akinsehinwa stood his ground in loyalty to his principal. In the end, both men paid the ultimate price. Here today, Lieutenant Akintunde Akinsehinwa is remembered by family and colleagues as a symbol of loyalty and sacrifice. Ivy Kano, TVC News, Lagos.
Ivy, that definitely is a subdued moment. Gentlemen, I cannot forget February 13, 1976. I was a cop broadcaster. I was to have been on the afternoon duty to relieve the lady, Rosalind Ogbangwa at the time, later Rosalind Oguru. So for a country that has survived 9 coups, gentlemen, 5 successful ones and 4 unsuccessful ones, the news about a coup or rumors should be revolting to us.
It should be, but you see, the problem that we have is that we have this we and them syndrome in Nigeria. So some people who do not like this government,
Okay.
who do not like this government, if they hear story about a coup, they won't mind because they believe that it is an opportunity to be able for them to achieve what they wanted. But any right-thinking person, especially somebody who believes in democracy, should feel saddened that we are talking about coup in 2026. I mean, it's not something that we should contemplate, especially in a developed democracy like ours.
Yeah.
Even our neighbors, the Republic of Benin, when they had issues, we have to send
help.
soldiers there to help them to be able to restore democracy. So, but having said that, Akinsehinwa is somebody that I believe that he was not honored enough. We hardly hear about him, but his was that of paying supreme price for loyalty, because he died with his boss. And apart from now, I've not really had any major event that was held in his honor. We
usually don't remember.
Yes, and he died quite young.
Yeah.
If you look at it, the widow said he died quite young, leaving a very young widow. But his memory is something that his family should be proud of.
Yeah.
Because loyalty, especially in the military, is very, very important.
It is said that the man or woman who is dead, if he remains alive in the memory, he or she is not dead.
Yes, not dead.
So
yes.
we share the grief of the family from this hangout. And BKO, I cannot forget 1976. Soldiers were guarding Broadcasting House at the time. If you remember the Nigeria of that time, the Federal Secretariat was in Alagbon. Behind
the Alagbon Close, yes.
That's it. So the soldiers. And
the embassy is not far from there.
Yeah, yes. from that, the mortuary, the Obalende cemetery surrounds it.
Which they call Ikoyi Cemetery now.
Ikoyi Cemetery, So soldiers were guarding Broadcasting House. So it was...
because that's the sign that something has gone wrong. And you must take over the...
Let's talk about the subject.
I understand, but quickly, let me rub this in. At the time, one network, but today we have too many radio stations and TV stations.
Yes.
So, Lieutenant Akinsehinwa, we share the grief of the family, hope that God will continue to rest Akinsehinwa's soul. For Christians, there is a promise of a resurrection morning. So we expect we'll meet face to face on resurrection morning.
For Christians?
Yeah.
Well, let's leave preaching to the pastors. The important thing is Lieutenant Akintunde Akinsehinwa will not be forgotten. Every time the story of February 13, 1976 is told, people will remember that an ADC paid with his life. We had 6 bullets lodged in his back because the autopsy that was conducted showed that he received 6 bullets on his back. And one account said he came out of the limousine with the desire to fight back, but he was overpowered by the coupists. Murtala was a popular leader in terms of the way
in 6 months,
the early decisions that he took, his war against corruption. He wasn't a saint. In his early life, he was corrupt himself, but he gave up everything that he got illegally. He gave it up to the state. He surrendered all the buildings that he got illegally to the state. And that was why he was able to fight against corruption frontally. Because if you have a baggage, people can see houses that you own here and there. You will not have the moral strength to fight corruption. So Murtala first surrendered all of the houses that he acquired illegally, especially during the Civil War and shortly after it. He surrendered everything, he gave it up, and he was able to fight corruption, especially in the civil service. He cleaned up the civil service, he sent some people packing, and he was also like the voice of our continent. You know, in the speeches that he made, he said that the world should no longer be giving Africa the footnote treatment. So this was a leader who came in with promise. And why did they take over? Because they felt that the Gawan regime was not interested in handing over to the civilian. It was just on an indefinite military rule. So they decided to take over at that time. And within 6 months,
he
was able to do a lot. Even the creation of the 19 states. We used to have 12 states.
For 12,
yes,
12
he was
19,
one who created. Then Dimka and co decided to plan a coup. Another person that was killed, although he has been honored with roads named after him, was the governor of Kwara State, Ibrahim Taiwo. You know, he too lost his life. Apparently, they didn't have enough cadres to be able to do it countrywide. But in Kwara, they took the life of the then governor. That was the situation in which one of the soldiers was saying it was my Oga that ordered me to kill. They diverted Murtala, Taiwo into a forest. And it was inside that forest
they took his life.
My dad once showed me the road leading to that forest in Kwara State.
The Dimka coup, let me rub this in, is the first and only coup where a broadcaster was killed for taking part. Abdul Karim Zakari.
Zakari was a collaborator.
Oh yeah,
he was a collaborator, and he paid with his life.
He supplied the martial music for the morning.
Yes, for them to make their speech. You know, it's an ill-fated. So, I think the important thing is for us to continue to insist that Lieutenant Akintunde Akinsehinwa deserves to be honored. We are not saying it should be honored as much as his boss and even Colonel Ibrahim Taiwo. But at least he deserves to be honored because he paid with his life and he showed loyalty to the very end.
We all know here that Lieutenant Akinsehinwa's boss, General Mohammed, has his face in the 20 naira note.
There are so many roads named after them. So many structures
across the country.
Yeah, across the country.
Yeah.
But
Even
for the man
to Nigeria, the Murtala Mohammed Airport.
yes, but for the man and across Nigeria, the north and the south, Ibrahim Taiwo also has roads named after him.
Yeah,
you know?
that's it.
But the case of Lieutenant Akintunde Akinsehinwa, very little has been heard of him. We do not know whether anything was named that time, but it makes sense that now that we are celebrating 50 years, we shouldn't remember Murtala alone. We shouldn't remember Ibrahim Taiwo alone.
Yeah.
We should remember that somebody laid down his life trying to protect the head of state.
Oh, yeah.
So in the end, the coupists were executed on 2 different occasions.
Oh, yeah.
Sergeant Saleh Pangshin, H.E. Warrant Officer H.E. Bauer, Staff Sergeant Richard Dongdang, they were all, and ex-governor Joseph Gonwok, Colonel Isabuka,
the first police officer.
Yes, Major J.K. Afolabi, Lieutenant Kwale, they were executed, and Bukasuka Dimka, who went to hide in Afikpo.
Afikpo.
You know, they were executed on May 15, 1976. But the rest of them, led by Major General I.D. Bisala, Colonel A.D.S. Wea, Lieutenant Colonel Tike Adamu, Lieutenant Colonel A.B. Umoru, Lieutenant Colonel Ayuba Tense, Major C.D. Dabang, Major Ola Ogumekon, Major I.B. Rabo, Major J.W. Kasai, Captain J.F. Idi, Captain M. Pawang, Captain S. Wakan, Lieutenant William Seri. They were all killed, executed on May 11, 1976.
In fact, one of the coupists was in hospital when the coup took place, Clement Dabang. Clement Dabang was sick, and he said, don't carry out the coup on February 13. Let me recover. He was also killed after.
With Dimka mentioned all of the people who are involved.
He implicated General Bisala.
Yes. General Bisala had a misunderstanding with the head of state. In fact, there was a picture published by Obe, what's his name, the great photographer, Peter Obe, showing him rolling his eyes, rolling his eyes in a very distasteful manner at the head of state when he was giving a speech. So that hatred was there. That kind of picture was also published in respect of Mamanji Avasa. Yes, after he was executed, they also brought a picture in which he was looking at IBB scornfully. So in the military, the coups literally almost brought down the military, because people will hate one another and they will set one another up for coups and all that. 1995, they told us there was a coup, but we all know that there was no coup. It was just an attempt to deal with people like Obasanjo, deal with Fadile, Mek Payeda, all of them.
BKO, gentlemen, memory is very unkind to an old man. Let's leave that. The backroom boys say it is time to go. But let me thank BKO for your intervention.
Thank you.
Mayor, for your mediation. Many thanks.
Thank you.
All right, folks, that will just about do it for the program today. Journalist Hangout on Sunday. But join us tomorrow for the regular episode, which takes the airtime at 5 p.m. You may watch a repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11:30. To inform you, we are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.